Mic check, mic check, mic check. Alright guys, it's been a hell of a start. Around goes the 16 of fish, 61 of fish, who knows. But we were watching fish going sideways in practice. There is 24 minutes of this bogusness left, while our drivers get to see what it's like going too wide outside of practice. Alright, so apparently we have a whole field of 9 cars. This is a record low as Scotty Petron goes sideways. We got Tyler Daniels holding down the top spot with a 17.7. Gibby with a 7.6 right behind him. We got Craig Bristol holding down P3, my ex-teammate. I still have a Team Craig Legends paint job. Maybe we'll make that one public with the Apollo stamp. Then we got Scotty Petron, who we saw just get thrown into the outside while going 2x2. In P4, we got Eric Sellers with a 17.8 as well. In P5. We got 17.8s all the way down until P7 with Travi, because we got Riley sitting P6. Trish is down in P8, and we've got a Harry on track. Hopefully our Apollo boys will be logging in soon. I'm going to go check in with them. Enjoy the sights and sounds around Bristol with the Apollo Advanced Legends League Season 7, Round 6.
Here. That's all you need. Fun.
What's the gear?
Travis. Were you aiming that time? No. 60.
You guys really running at 6?
Nah, I'm right here.
I was like,
I looked down for a second.
I don't know if I can beat it. You're here. It's not like I was on your side in the beginning. I didn't turn at that shit. Almost every job I've ever been at, I tell people, my friends, is, if he's fucking with you, don't worry. If he's not fucking with you, worry.
is getting spicy in Discord. It's great. Sorry that you guys had to deal with that earlier. That was my fault on the audio side. Let's see if we can get the focus car out of the way. Okay, boys. We have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left of practice. We got Eric Sellers in P1, Luke Desjardins in P2. Hey, welcome to the server, Luke. We got Tyler Daniels in P3. We got Gibby in P4, Riley Fiddler in P5, Chris Franz in the 33 in P6, Cred Bristol holding down P7, Scott T. Petrone in P8, Fish is in P9, Brian Wright in P10. That rounds off our top 10. Everyone there is literally within 0.2 of a fucking second, y'all. Then we got Sean Patchen running close behind, with trailing by what, 5/100ths? With the 17.9. We got Travis Edwards with the 17.9. Also, the 17.9s carry us back to Kyle Boone in P14. We got Travi and Todd holding those two spots. Greg Langford in P15's got the first 18 flat, and an 18-1 for both Harry and Ryan. All right, boys, we're going to go through the chaotic hell that is trying to figure out who to watch during qualifying, if I can even get my camera controls online. All right, I believe we are on board with the 38 of Kyle Boone. He's taking his qualifying laps while jibba-jabbing in Discord. Let's see how that works out for him. Looking pretty clean so far. Oh, Jesus. Well, unfortunately, Discord could hear me. Thank God you couldn't hear them. Well, Sean, that's not the way you need to be facing. Alright, boys. Qualifying is always chaotic because I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing as a broadcaster, but here we go. It looks like everything's kind of settled out. Everyone's done their laps. We got Gibby holding down P1, followed by Brian Wright in P2, Craig Bristol in P3. I am doing this as Travi does his announcements, so this is insane. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you his announcements one day. Anyway, Craig Bristol in P3, Travi Edwards in P4, Ryan B in P5, and now I lose everything. Welcome to Broadcast Woes with Bet Productions.
Twist. Tonight, it's 50 laps. No long run to save you. No time to ride. No time to wait. You blink, it's over. You hesitate, you're freight trained. You start in the back, you better move now. This is a short track sprint inside a concrete bowl. Every lap matters. Every bumper counts. Every mistake is final. Will Patron go back to back? Will someone steal it in the final corner? Or will Bristol remind everyone why it's called the last great Coliseum? 50 laps, all gas, no mercy. Let's go racing.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right, boys. I think I got Travi Edwards' end on there. This man is beautiful. That's all I can say. Mwah, chef's kiss. Is he going to go back to back? Or does Scott T. Petron go ass to ass? Are we ready for Heat 1? I don't know if I'm ready for Heat 1, boys. All right, boys, we got Heat 1. Gibby's on the pole with Travi running P2. We got Luke Desjardins in P3, Todd Byer in P4, Kyle Boone in P5, Donald Fish Fisher in P6, and Sky Correa in P7. Alright boys, I feel like this is the longest wait to grid I have ever felt in Apollo Advanced heat, but here we go. Maybe we don't go yet. We are finally going. I don't know who had to pee really bad. Probably doing an emergency wipe. But let's go. Give me on pole. Travi in P2, Luke in P3, Todd in P4, Kyle in P5, Fish in P6, and Scotty C in P7. Seems like our boys forgot how to play the accordion, but it's all good. looks a little distrustful there on the start, but we're all packed up. Waiting for this pace car to pull off. Jesus. There we go.
Green, green, green.
And it's green. Immediately. Welcome to Bristol. Worst pace car ever, but we love it here. Looks like everyone is kind of sorting out and taking their place. We got Luke popping up into P2, Travi down to P3. Everyone else is pretty much holding station. Looks like Todd has gotten a bit of a gap over Kyle. Seems like Kyle lost the pack because he's too busy heckling the Discord instead of driving, but, you know, that's how you get spots for the feature, boys. And Gibby slightly sideways collects a bit of fish, I believe. That means Luke inherits the lead. We got Travi in P2. And Todd is looking to sweep the outside. This man will hunt the outside of the track every day, all day, no matter what track he's driving on. Jesus, Todd. Oh, and there goes Luke, just a little bit of a touch. Oh, and Kyle gets collected, unfortunately. Mr. Outside has inherited second place. All right, so I'm pretty sure that's exactly how that shakes out. We got the teammates of Travis Edwards and Todd Byer finishing P1 and 2 in the heat. We got Fish in P3. Kyle Boone takes P4 even though he got collected. We got Gibby in P5, Luke in P6, and Scott Correa Man, thank you for this setup. I wish you'd race the race. We love you, bro. Alright, we got Heat 2. We got Brian Wright on P1, Ryan B on P2. In P2, we got Eric Sellers in P3, Chris Franz in P4. Harry is running P5, and Gray's in P6. This looks like a pretty competitive heat. Look for Ryan to try and bump draft the pace car. Brian to follow right behind. Eric Sellers is probably going to be patient on the outside. He's going to pull a Todd from Heat 1. I promise you. I don't know what's going to happen for the S3. It's going to be great, though.
Green, green, green.
All right, we are green flag. Ryan Wright jets off in the lead. Ryan seems to be given a world of room. I'm not sure that was a bad starter, just like hell with it. It's a heat. That looks super gentleman from everyone. Ryan tucks down on the inside. Ryan takes the outside. It looks like everyone just does not want to get caught up in anything and have a bad start for the feature. Good on you, boys, but it's pretty boring. Oh, yeah, we got some touching. Maybe some 3 wide. Let's go. Ooh, Ryan is holding him honest there on the inside. This is some pretty racing in the last couple laps. They were just saving it for us, boys. Sellers is loving that outside. As long as he can stay behind Ryan, he seems to be safe. Oh, little bit too many cars on too small a track. Can't really fault anyone for that, in my opinion. But Ryan is continued going. He is unfortunately in the back, but it is what it is. Heat racing, boys. Gotta love it. Ooh, I feel like that has to be a little bit of a net code there. Alrighty, it looks like Franz is... I'm not sure. I don't trust our tracker, but I think Franz got second place there. I think Sellers was in P3. All right, boys. All right, welcome to Heat 3. We got Craig Bristol on pole, Riley in P2, Tyler Daniels in P3, Scott T. P-Tron in P4, Sean Patchen in P5, and Hugh Escobar in P6. Let's go, boys. Is Hugh gonna do that back to front shit like he seems to do every other week? We will find out. Much like our first heat, the pace car doesn't want to get the hell off the track. Here he goes. We are about to go green.
Green flag.
And Craig Bristol leads us, but not for very long, as the outside takes off on the man. Some Scotty holding around there. Looks like he's going to keep P3, but Craig will stay in front of him. We got Riley in the lead. And Tyler Daniels is sneaking up the inside for P2. Looks like Craig is going to lose him in just a couple more corners. Smart thing would be to tuck in, hold that draft. We got people touching the wall. Meanwhile, Kyle's asking for driving tips in Discord. This is some close driving in our top three. These boys are working all lanes. We are all bunched up now. Someone just wave the green flag on lap 4, because that's what it looks like. Oh, actually, yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Tyler Daniels gets together with Riley, and that means Craig Bristol inherits the lead, and here is Hugh Escobar in P2 and Sean Patchen in P3. Scott TP Trone is not far behind, checked up for the whole event. Don't be surprised if Hugh goes to the outside and cuts someone down. Seems to be the way. A little bit of a checkup there from Craig Bristol. Left Sean Patchen with nowhere to go. Oof. It sounds like he saved it, but Hugh is going to go around the outside, try and get the lead. And who was that? Yeah, it's the same guy that always goes around when it counts. We are in the last lap. It looks like Craig Bristol is taking the lead, followed by Scott T. P-Tron. One of these days I will have a flag tracker so I can accurately tell you where people finish, but yeah, we're a work in progress. All right, boys, it is time for the Sean Pissin' Patchen sponsored piss break. This is 5 minutes of extra practice. Get off your asses, get something to drink, crack another cold one, smoke them if you got them, boys. 5 minutes till the feature. Sorry that you had to hear me crunch my ice. Welcome, boys, to the Apollo Advanced Legends League Season 7, Round 6. We are at Bristol Motor Speedway. The tracker is deciding to not work as normal. Here we go. There we are. We've got things working. Not sure what happened, but it looks like we got Brian Wright taking an EOL, giving Eric Sellers the lead. Looks like both our tracker and our camera are having some issues right now, so we're going to try and work through that. As usual at Bristol, the pace car does not want to get off the track, so that works in our favor a little bit. Looks like the pace car is off. The field is in the hands of Eric Sellers. We have Donald Fish Fisher in P2, Scott T. Petron in P3. We got Chris Franz in P4, Todd Meyer in P5. As we start off, let's look for the whole field to get shuffled. Sean Patchen is up a spot from his starting position. Looks like Kyle has dropped down to P13. The front has sorted out with Eric Sellers leading us off, Scotty Petron in P2, Todd Meyer in P3. Craig is holding down that P4 spot. Let's see if we can get our camera back there, because that's a hell of a battle between him and Fish. We got Travie pulling up the rear with Chris Franz right next to him. You are trying to team up back in P13. If I was Kyle, I'd be begging for anyone's help. Sellers tapped the wall, dropped back a little bit, but it looks like he scooped it back up. He is around the outside, challenging for P2. Sellers is holding that outside, and unfortunately,
yellow flag.
We got Craig, Travie, Harry. Honestly, and we got Greg all trapped up in that last one. I'd assume we are going yellow. Boys, I feel like we're gonna have some pit stops. So, temporarily, we got Scott in the front, Eric Sellers following, Todd Meyer, Fish behind him. We got Chris Franz rounding out your top 5. We got P6 with Gibby. Hugh is holding up P7 while talking shit to the dude who is in 10th. We got Ryan in P8, Kyle Boone in P9, Sean Patchen holding down that P10 spot I spoke about earlier. Travi has held on to P11. We got Brian Wright up from the back of the field into P12. We got Greg Langford right behind him, which I believe is the first of the cars involved in that little soiree earlier. We got Luke, Riley, Craig, Harry, Tyler. Well, Tyler's gone. We got Harry pulling up the rear.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, we are green. We got Scott T. Petron taking up the lead. Todd Byer holding on the inside. Eric Sellers is pulling out the outside, looking to take that P2 from him with Chris Franz holding up P4 right behind him. Ryan is directly behind him, staying firmly in his draft. Followed by Rick Gibby. And there they go. Unfortunately, it looks like Ryan's gonna get the worst of that. Hopefully no one else got collected. I'd imagine we were going yellow, but there we are. Once upon a future, we will have replays, I swear. All right, boys, it looks like our tracker has gone full AWOL again. We've got Todd Byer in the lead, followed by Scotty Petron. We got Gibby behind him with Eric Sellers pulling up P4. That is all I can get as our cameras are now not listening to me. Followed by Hugh in P5 and Sean Patchen in P6. All right, we got our tracker back. We got Todd Byer in P1, Scott T. Petron in P2, Gibby in P3, Sellers in P4, Hugh Escobar rounding out our top 5. Look at Luke up there back in P7 after everything. Look for that outside lane to push. Looks like Todd was able to shake him just a little bit. Oh. We got some wall touching. It's gonna hold them all back. Poor Sellers is kind of just hanging on for the ride here. If Scott does one step wrong, this is not gonna go well. They are working together though. Nice little bump. Oh, and here goes Gibby and Todd doing the same thing. Welcome to Friends on an oval. This is ridiculous, boys. Absolutely wonderful to see. Look at Brian, though, hanging on by himself. Behind Brian, we got Luke and Hugh with Sean. That's got to be a close-ass bunch. Okay, I lied. It's a wild ride, boys. Oh, and Scott T. Petron takes the ride. It looks like he collected, I believe, Luke Desjardins back there, but I could be wrong. We just have to wish once upon a tracker. I am not sure who got collected there in that white car with a black stripe. But it looks like as they sort out, we're going to have Todd Byer in P1, Gibby in P2, Eric Sellers in P3, Brian Wright in P4, Hugh Escobar rocking it out there in the top 5. We got Sean Patchen sitting in P6, killing it tonight. We got Luke Desjardins going from the front to the back to the front in P7. Nope. P5? I'm not sure what's going on, boys. Todd is running into the pits? Not really. There's no way he's pitting. Why are you doing weird stuff, Todd? Once upon a pace car. Let's go, boys. Field is sorted out. We got Todd Byer in P1, Rick Gibson in P2, Eric Sellers in P3, Brian Wright in P4, Luke Desjardins up into P5, Hugh Escobar in P6, Sean Patchen in P7, Craig Bristol P8, Travis Edwards P9, and Riley running out our top 10. And the pace car is still going. So we got Ryan in P11, Greg Langford in P12. We got Donald Fisher in P13. We got Kyle Boone in P14. And it's time to go racing, boys. Green flag. Todd gets a good run in like his own lane while everyone staggers up the track. Sellers is holding it tight. I'm going to assume Sellers and Luke are going to go forward here. I mean, these are the kings of the outside over here. And we got a nice race from first to sixth. Oh! Getting a little close. Gibby saved it off the wall there. Ryan is looking a little wiggly out of 4. But I mean, at this point of the race, who wouldn't, right? Are we gonna see a little bit more of that pushing for the cushion? Just go a little further forward, Todd. Here we go. Watch him do it again. Fortunately, Sellers doesn't have anyone to help him. Oh no! Not sure what happened to Gibby there. Yeah, there's the yellow. There was no way that wasn't going to happen. So, Todd and Sellers inherit P1 and 2. Unfortunately, Gibby... I don't even know what happened. It looked like something failed on the car, but I'm pretty sure that's not a thing in sim racing. Yeah, it looks like then we got Luke Desjardins in P3, Brian Wright in P4, Sean Patch in P5, Hugh Escobar P6, Fish in P7, Travi in P8, Scott T. Petrone in P9, and Greg is rounded off our top 10. Right behind him, we have Kyle Boone, we got Ryan in P12, Riley in P13, Craig Bristol still holding down P14. Gibby is unfortunately back in 15th, then Harry and Franz. Alright, boys, I swear one day the Bristol pace car will pull off the track. Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, we got Todd Byer, Eric Sellers, and Luke holding down our top 3. Believe we are going racing sometime in the near future. We have 13 laps to go. Okay, there the pace car goes, and we are green flag. Todd wasted no time getting to the throttle. Ooh, looks like Brian's SM looked to want to step out just a tiny bit there. Stuck it though. And his seller's gonna try and make it through. He thought about making it 3 wide, that is for sure. Luke is just patiently waiting in for it there. There is still 10 laps to go. Sorry about that. More technical difficulties. They will continue. Brian Wright is pushing for that lead on the inside. Todd skates on by and the yellow flag is out for something else. Curious as to what. Had to be at least mid-pack. Kyle is about to urinate in his race seat. I feel like this is a theme for season 7 at this point. Kyle's wet again. All right, we are getting a little antsy for a 5-lap, 4-lap shootout. Depends on when this pace car decides to get off the track. But we got Brian Wright leading us off on the inside with Todd Byer on the outside in P2. We got Eric Sellers in P3, Luke Desjardins outside in P4. Inside there is Sean Patchen in P5 with Hugh Escobar rounding out our top 6. Scotty Petron and Fish round out the top 8, and we are green. Brian Wright takes a bit of a lead going into turn 1, but holds that defensive line for some reason. Oh. And they apparently aren't going to catch him for that. He might have just inherited the lead of the race as long as he can hang on to it. Luke is pulling up a close second, though. Looks like he's got some momentum. Mr. Outside is still hanging it out there. A hell of a race for the top 4, boys. And Sean Patchen is lying in wait in P5. Sean is closing that gap quickly with 2 laps to go. This is no longer a top 4 battle. This is a top 5 battle, and there goes Todd. Unfortunately, Sean is the bearer of bad news. Poor man. Straight collected on the checkup. No yellow, and we finish with Brian Wright in P1, Eric Sellers in P2. Did we not finish? Is that the checkered? Oh man, if that is the checkered, that was a crazy finish, boys. We're gonna have to actually like pull up some official iRacing. Ouch. Unfortunately, I apologize. I was muted for half of that. Let's run through that again. So we've got Eric Sellers with the win. We've got Brian Wright in P2, Luke Desjardins in P3, Gibby in P4, Riley in P5, Travi in P6, and Craig coming in P7, Fish in P8, Kyle Boone in P9. Greg rounding out our top 10. How's it going, Brian? Can we how's it going, Brian?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Give me another mic check real quick. Brian? Are you here now, boss?
I think so.
All right, give me one more mic
I
check.
think I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I believe so. Awesome. All right. So you're a regular up on the podium here. Welcome to P2 again.
Yeah, I ran in a couple officials here. I can't remember how many weeks back it was. So sort of had an idea of what to expect in the feature. And like I said, the McConey setup shop Legends car was on a rail tonight. I just knew patience was going to pay off. Fun to have a photo finish there at the line. I thought I got him, but I didn't want to drift up too high. I heard the beating and scraping on the wall, so I played it safe. I'd rather go home in second than wreck half the field.
It was a frequent sound tonight. That is for sure. It's great when I'm watching the race from the top. I can see the top six, and all I can hear is chirk to chirk off the wall, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean maybe I don't know. Was that a wall ride that he did at the end? Was that a Hail Melon? I feel like that move's outlawed. Maybe I should be the winner, but yeah, no, it was an awesome race tonight. I really enjoyed racing with them all, and again, this is a fun league. I love what you guys put on, and broadcast just adds another a layer of fun to it.
Well, thank you, boss. I'm just a guy that's ready to race with you again, just taking a season off, so I figured I'd try my hand at something new.
I love it. Absolutely love it, man. Thanks again. Have a wonderful night.
You too, boss. Thank you again. That's Brian Wright with another podium finish. Let's go, Apollo Advanced Legends League. All right, boys, we will see you next week in round 7. I actually should know and don't know where that is, but we'll let you know on some type of social. We'll tell you about that social sometime in the future. This is all a work in progress. We'll see you next week.